It's interesting to learn that the world's technology per capita capacity to store information has roughly doubled every 40 months since 1980s. For example, decoding the human genome originally took 10 years to process, and now it can be achieved in 1 week. In business, the volume of business data worldwide across all companies apparently doubles every 1.2 years. Now, Walmart, just as an example, handles more than 1 million customer transactions every hour. The information is imported into databases with 2,506 terabytes of data. And if we wonder, well, what does that actually look like, that amount of data? Well, it's the equivalent to 167 times the information contained in all the books in the US Library of Congress. So data sets are growing in size, in part because they are increasingly being gathered by ubiquitous sources, such as mobile devices and aerial sensory technology, software logs, cameras, microphones, radio frequency identification readers, and wireless sensor networks. So the data growth challenges and opportunities, are seen from a three-dimensional point of view: increasing volume, velocity, and variety, just the range of data types and sources. So challenges for large enterprises include data capture, curation, storage, search, sharing, transfer, analysis, and of course the visualization of data. So an additional challenge is in determining who should own big data initiatives that straddle an entire organization. But the real challenge is actually what sort of data can we generate, and particularly what advantages can we reap from it. Now, enter business analytics, and for those in the audience that obviously clearly have an interest in this area, the whole process and benefits of examining large amounts of data and a variety of types and forms to uncover hidden patterns, unknown correlations, trends, and useful information is just a minefield of opportunity for business. Now, such information can obviously help us with better decision making, more competitive advantages over rival organisations, but there are some pitfalls, and we're well aware of what those pitfalls are that can trip up an organisation. These include how do you integrate so many different data warehouses, lack of internal analytics skills, and more importantly, the shortage of experienced analytical professionals. So if you're looking at where do we come in, that's where Deakin really sees a unique need that we want to fill. And that's what the Masters of Business Analytics is about.
I represent IAPA, the Institute of Analytics Professionals of Australia. It's grown phenomenally in the 7 years of existence in Australia. So let's just give you a few facts and figures about IAPA and therefore the local Australian analytics market. We've almost got to 3,000 local members now. Phenomenal, given that there were only 300 in 2006 when we launched, and from over 450 organisations, which a lot of you will be members, and the huge variety in that series of organisations, which I'll touch on shortly. In the last year, we've seen a 73% growth. So the demand for this skill and the people getting involved in this area is phenomenal. The site, we've got a community. You can see our mission statement up there. It is really to unite, inform and support this emerging discipline. And we want to provide information sources, a networking hub and a professional identity. We've got 6 active chapters, so we are truly supporting the Australian industry. Again, thanks to Deakin for this opportunity to talk about the demand for this skill set. We've done some rudimentary analysis on our own membership to give you an idea of who's looking for this skill set by volume, just in order of number of members ranked 1 to 20 in our membership. So you can see some of the brands in this top 20 are some of the most sought after organisations to work for in the local community, and you'd see again the kind of brands there are quite diverse with regard to both supply side from the leading services providers, software, but also you can see financial services dominates. And the reason that is because the vast amount of data they need in order to run their business. Basically, financial services is a virtual product, and therefore data is everything to them in terms of the way they go to market. You can also see amongst the top 20 there, we've also got someone you engage with once a year, you'd hope. If not, they'll be watching you. It's the Australian Tax Office. So again, they've been one of the biggest users of analytics, and in fact, Warwick Greco is on our board and was a founding member of our organisation, and the ATO have been pioneers in the field of analytics to protect the taxpayer dollar and ensure compliance across the citizenship of Australia. Might like to say in joint 18th place, but I'm sure that's going to grow as Deakin. So again, they take it seriously. They eat their own dog food. They're very much involved in our organisation. Why do an analytics degree? Well, you're going to need to compete with who's already out there. Okay, you can see the amount of people with high-level educational attainment is significant in this industry. So again, if you're new to the field, then you really do need to be focusing on how you differentiate. And again, a course like this will give you something that employers will look to. From what you've seen from our membership and the response to the salary survey, you have the opportunity to differentiate yourself in a very rewarding market, and you can attain access to the most interesting and challenging of roles. You can collaborate with the best in industry. You'll see tonight the kind of brands who are behind this course are some of the most sought after employers in Australia, both from services, software, the actual practitioners of analytics, and the academics involved as well. Again, evenings like this, but also participation in the course, will enable you to build your own network, make those connections that will last your career, understand where you could go next in your next role challenge. We'll also, it will provide you with understanding how analytics is used in other areas. So you may be stagnating in your current role or not knowing where to go next for your next opportunity. By coming to these events, getting involved in the course, networking, you'll understand what's possible from the field of analytics, and the demand is there. Deakin are helping with meeting that through supply.
So apart from being the first coursework program in business analytics in Australia, it also has features that really sets it apart from other courses globally. And there are three particular things I want to focus on. The first is the course structure. This course is not just about data and analytics. The core units of the course cover the full spectrum of the business analytics value chain. So I'll go into more detail later. So it's a very broad course, and it looks at how analytics is used and how you get return on investment from your analytics projects as well. Rather than have an individual unit in big data, we've actually taken big data concepts across the course. We've integrated it across the information management, across the analytics, as well as looking at the business value end. We've allowed students to have 4 electives, and we've allowed students to choose what they want to do. Do they want to add a bit more breadth to what we offer? Do they want to add more depth? They can take electives from any part of the university. With the delivery, like a lot of Deakin courses, this is offered on and off campus. But with off-campus study, we are introducing a lot of new technologies. So this webinar that we're running at the moment, it's an interactive webinar tool where students can ask questions. We are going to use this at all of our on-campus sessions, so off-campus students can be there. It's also recorded, and it will be put on our learning management system. Deakin has 3 periods of teaching each year, so we have a trimester rather than a semester model, which means that you can spread your load as a part-time student across the year and still finish this program in 2 years. So you could study part-time and get a master's in 2 years. We've also looked at our units of study. Rather than being offered week in, week out through the trimester, we put them into modules. So even the on-campus students don't have to come on campus week in, week out. Again, I'll give a bit more detail on that later on. And the last part of this is the practice focus. This course was developed with extensive consultation and with industry. So industry has been involved in designing the program. They will also be involved in delivering the program. So they bring a very different perspective to this course than what we would have if we ran it on our own. So a significant proportion of the course is taught by industry practitioners, and we have state-of-the-art analytics tools. We've got IBM Cognos SaaS products, Microsoft Tableau integrated into the program. So students will use the software that they're going to need when they go out into the workplace. So the industry involvement happens in 3 ways. So we've got the analytics tools and the expertise they bring. So we have people from IBM who will actually deliver sessions into business intelligence, talking about how to use Cognos in the best possible way. So they will teach the subject matter as well as the software. And similarly with Microsoft and SaaS products. Then we have the practice consulting experience. All the data we use in our teaching will be real data. We have real case studies. And in a number of the compulsory units, we have a module which is a third of the unit delivered by a practitioner looking at how you would implement that theory in real life. And we also have practitioners role-playing into case studies to give students an idea of how to make this happen if you're out there. Then we have specialized expertise. So we have a data visualization expert who's going to teach a module in data visualization, similarly with optimization and so on. So this is how we involve industry in the course. They're involved at every level. And they will also be involved in careers events. They will do recruitment. They will give you opportunities to network with them and understand what career opportunities are available to them, to you.
At Deloitte, we're fortunate enough in Australia, about 7 years ago, I've been building the analytics practice with Deloitte for about 8 years. There were about 5 of us when we started. There's now 170 in Australia and a couple of thousand worldwide. But we were very fortunate to have a really visionary CEO who saw this mega trend of analytics and the power of data and took a really decent bet on backing it, and in fact has committed to three relevant things I want to bring up. Analytics will be last. The first one is innovation, and the commitment at Deloitte that 30% of every dollar you make, 30 cents in a dollar, $3 out of 10, has to come from something you weren't doing 2 years ago, which is fine for us in analytics, and it's probably fine for the guys in digital. But imagine if you're sitting in audit or tax or legal, and you have to be doing something you weren't doing 2 years ago. So they talk about innovation being in our lifeblood, but that's been a fantastic time to be a hardcore computer nerd at Deloitte with this focus on innovation and rapid change in the industry. The other thing that Deloitte's been really committed to that's definitely been symbiotic with analytics is digital. We've got the largest web development and mobile app development company in Australia as a wholly owned subsidiary. And with some of the mega trends we're seeing in digital, Gasolomo is a neat way to remember it. Gamification, social, location-based services, and mobility all generate enormous amounts of data. So the need for them to be underpinned and enhanced and work together with analytics is key. The last one is analytics, and the commitment at Deloitte that analytics is powering everything we do. Not an add-on service. Why don't you take some analytics with your human capital consulting? Why don't you take some analytics to augment your strategy and operations consulting? Everything we do is powered by analytics. So there's not been a more exciting place to sit, and there's an old saying that a guy who loves what he does never works a day in his life, and I truly am excited to get up and apply brain power to solve problems with analytics. So
at Ernst & Young, we have a fundamental belief that the use of data can help release creativity and innovation in the organisations by providing new and exciting perspectives and new ways of looking at old problems and old challenges. We believe that the organisations that can take advantage of their data assets or the data available to them, be that data internal data within their own systems or external data that's made public, those organisations have a better chance of achieving their strategic outcomes by making better decisions on a day-to-day basis. And those decisions that they make, they could be operational decisions. So, somebody in a call centre about what to talk about the customer, what to sell the customer next, versus significant strategic decisions about where to invest capital, what programs to put money into going forward. These decisions could be about improving how they manage risk or how they could look to improve your performance of the organisation. And these exist, I guess, both across the public sector, be it in education, health, transport, as well as in the private sector, be it financial services, resources, utilities or telcos. What we believe is at Ernst & Young, what we need people who are data literate, who can understand and appreciate the value of data, to take those views and those outcomes, I guess, and understanding to our clients to help them solve the problems that they have. As a result, I guess, of these sort of beliefs that we have in our firm at the moment, we're making a pretty significant investment in a competency and a practice called enterprise intelligence. That's our information management and analytics practice. We're investing in the people, upskilling them, making sure they're aware of the latest techniques that they need and the latest technologies. We're investing in the process as well, so they have high quality analytics that can be deployed quickly and investing in the technology as well, be that hardware or software. Because what we believe is that those people that understand and appreciate data and then can apply that in a practical sense, they'll be very sought after, not just by Ernst & Young and the other industry partners here, but also in industry as well. So we're very proud as well to be associated with the Deakin course, and we congratulate you on the launch today, and we look forward hopefully for the opportunity to work with some of you, if not all of you, in the course in the upcoming year. Thank you.
So many of us have seen examples of big data in practice and the application of analytics, and some of the examples that IBM have worked on over the past year have been, say, in the hospitals, where we look at the vital signs for infant children as they're born, and we're able to analyse those to intervene, and in some cases up to 24 hours earlier than previously available, so to help save lives. In the oil gas industry, we also work with organisations to help understand the gas flows and to improve efficiencies through their network to reduce costs. And the telecommunication providers is another clear example, and banks, as Doug mentioned, who use this for use analytics for their customer churn analysis to reduce those. So essentially what we're saying is the whole realm of analytics gives industry, social services, governments and citizens a better chance at achieving outcomes and improved services.
SAS, like many of the consulting practices here today, view analytics as a core business process that it's got to begin with a business problem. We use our technology to empower people to be able to deliver business solutions. The technological and domain expertise of our employees helps SAS lead the way in high performance analytics, empowering our customers to tackle complex business problems with big data. And our entire business revolves around solving these complex problems with our software. For example, our global consulting practice has solved a range of real world problems, such as combating fraud in financial services, expediting drugs to market in life science and big pharma, and identifying cross-sell opportunities in retail, as well as challenges facing every other industry, such as increasing the value of customer relationships, managing risk, optimizing IT networks, all through industry and cross-functional solutions that reflect our domain expertise. Now, SAS addresses these big, complex business issues using a foundation of three capabilities that are going to be covered in the Deakin course. Firstly, there's information management, business intelligence, and of course analytics, and specifically predictive analytics.
So as I said earlier, one of the key features of the course is the breadth of its curriculum. So rather than focusing on just data analytics, this course spans the full value chain of business analytics. So if you start with the capture of the data, using that data, analyzing it, unveiling the insights, using those insights to make better decisions, and then plugging some of that back into the data you collect. So essentially we see three skill sets in here, or three discipline groups in here: information management, data analytics, and the decision modeling and the business value. So our course, if you look at the compulsory subjects, span this full spectrum. So students going out with this course are qualified to work in business analytics, not just doing the data analytics.